Hello friends, Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Dots of Destiny. Today's video is about the axis of Rahu Ketu. Ketu in own nakshatra Maga and the Rahu also in own nakshatra Shatabisha. Obviously, the time is such that Jupiter is also in Punarvasu own nakshatra and Saturn in Purva Uttar Bhadrapada. So all the planets are in its own nakshatra and very prominent, and that is why the results are seen in mundane astrology every day. Now, why this Rahu Ketu is always a trigger point, how it is and why it is like that, especially when Rahu and Ketu comes into its own nakshatra, it becomes very prominent. Any planet becomes, but because they are the karmic nodes from where Ketu generates the karma, and then you have to reach towards the point where Rahu is taking you to. So that is the link. That's why they trigger events. That is what I have seen. And if you remember, before the COVID era of 2019, Rahu came into Adra Nakshatra and Ketu was in Purva Ashada and then in Sagittarius, and then it came to Mula. From there we started the problem of COVID. 6 years down the line, we have landed here when Rahu is in Shatabisha and Ketu is in Maga. So here again a problem has started, and yes, absolutely affirming the thing. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, has declared that there can be an emergency kind of COVID situation. Now, obviously, he has envisaged that due to the shortage of the LNG, the diesel petrol, due to the ongoing war at the Strait of Hormuz, the problems can escalate because the consumption factor or the different kind of, because oil is the source we need for anything and everything for transportation, and also the food is totally dependent on LNG, and 70% of LNG of India comes from the outside world, especially West Asia. I do not call it Middle East anymore. So that is the problem now we are looking at. Now, as far as that is concerned, that will escalate. It is not going to end. Now, why it is that? Because Ketu is in Maga. As I told in my last video also, Maga is a very Ugra nakshatra. It is fierce, it is cutting, it is warlike, it takes you to the war to get the throne, literally. And that is what is happening now at this point of time. And when we extrapolate, always Ketu is where the thing starts. Why do I need the war? Because I need the throne. And then I go to Rahu, because Rahu is in Shatabisha, and Shatabisha represents groups, networking. Aquarius is that. Obviously, Shatabisha Nakshatra defines lot of things. It defines Varuna, God, from the knowledge that we get, the essential, the doctors, to the sky, the 100 doctors to the sky. So many things Shatabisha has, but it definitely also shows that how we take ourselves to the greater networking thing. That is very important in Shatabisha, because it occupies the center position of Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about groups and networking. As you can see, USA is not getting support from most of the countries. Even Sri Lanka doesn't want to berth its ship in its own port. So you can understand there is how this kingship of Leo plays with the Aquarian region of Rahu in Shatabisha. So it's a very, it's a big tug of war that is going. So because Ketu in Magha, let's talk a little bit of Magha and Shatabisha before we go ahead to the different ascendants and the axis that this is playing out. See, wherever Magha lies in your horoscope, and if you have an active planet in Magha, which I do, you will have lot of fights in your life, and the battles are to be started by yourself and ended by yourself. There is nobody with you in that battle. That is what, if you see, the the state of USA is facing. The country is facing like that similar situation, because they have started the war and nobody is interfering in that. Nobody is putting any olive branch towards that. They want a ceasefire to happen. Nothing is happening. So whenever you irritate a nakshatra like Magha, when you start something over there, you have to be very self-assured. If you have prominent planets in Magha nakshatra, now taking it to our own level of astrology, from the greater picture to the singular picture, if you have prominent planets in Magha and wherever it is falling, or if because this is activated now from the April to the December first week, Magha will be totally activated by Ketu. We have to understand Rahu Ketu always goes from the higher degrees to lower degree. Now wherever Magha is, it will generate, or it will start, or it will make you start by default a kind of fight zone where you have to do the fight. Most probably you will be so much you will be so much eager to get that Rahu thing in Shatabisha, where your Rahu is transiting. Shatabisha and Rahu will be till the month of August. Yeah, so you will be fighting for that cause. You will feel that it is absolutely necessary. This is the time, do or die, I have to do it. So that is the intense Magha nakshatra that you see, which Ketu will be transiting, or it has started if you take the mean node or the true node, whichever. From April month also you can take it. Whatever is the reason, it will start. And Ketu being headless. Now see, when I talk of Magha, the whole horoscope, these are very complicated intrinsic details things. The whole horoscope of a person, if it is really uplifted, and what do I mean by that? It is uplifted to a level that whether I am doing it for just my cause or for a greater picture or a vision more important than just my sole purpose, then Magha plays a good role. Good role in the sense bloodshed is there. Bloodshed literally, or whatever you call it, there will be positions where it will make you uncomfortable and contemplate that why did I start this altogether. But still, for a bigger picture, that is needed. But self-centered things like if I take the horoscope of Donald Trump, he is doing it just for the sake of some, getting the petrodollar still going on, and America, let's make America big again, great again. So that is not the cause that Magha should be excited, because Leo, why it has the first nakshatra as Magha, which is a saint-like king. A king, nothing belongs to a king. That is Magha. The king is just because of its people, and that is very difficult to inculcate if the Leo boosting agenda is there in a personal horoscope. That is a problem. So as far as Magha nakshatra is concerned, it is a very nakshatra which goes all out for fight and ruthless and lethal, but the cause should be greater cause. That is the main thing. Then only you succeed. Then only you get the knowledge from Jupiter and or Sun, because that is a karmic control planet. Ketu is doing the thing where Sun will be transiting. And another thing is that There are so many things to discuss. We are in a zone where we are having a partial Kal Sarpa Yoga going on. Only the moon is out of the zone of Ketu and Rahu. All the planets are in between. From, if you start from Rahu, Shatabisha to Maga, all the planets are aligned over there. Only moon is transiting out of this zone. So definitely this is a partial Kal Sarpa Yoga that is going on. That is why situations are even more intense, and this will go on until and unless in the month of July the Shukra, Venus, will come into joining Maga, and then out of this Kal Sarpa Yoga. Now the second thing about this is Maga is it's a very lethal nakshatra. Be very careful in whatever you undertake or whatever the feeling you get. If you really know your horoscope, where the trigger point is coming, be very careful to take steps in that direction, because this is no easy nakshatra, and this is not a time when you can take decisions in the whims and wishes. So this is the first point. Now coming to Shatabisha. Shatabisha is a very secretive nakshatra. The secret knowledge also comes from here. Many healing techniques also come from here, as it is a Shat doctors, Shatabisha. Also, this is understanding of, see, Shatabisha represents a circle. Now, inside out, you may be there in a group, in a networking situation, but internally you can feel very hollow. And you can accumulate, you can want the name, fame, because Rahu in Shatabisha is in that kind of a zone where it wants, it's a very unstable nakshatra. If you have any planet over there, suppose if you have Sun, there will be some instability about your father's life. Moon, your career, even your health, your well-being can be unstable. You can look if you have that kind of positions, because in my understanding, Adra and Shatabisha is no easy nakshatra. Better, Swati is much better nakshatra and business oriented, and it has the easier sides of Rahu than Shatabisha and Adra nakshatra. For Ketu, Ashwini is little, I will say, little easier than Magha and Mula. So these kind of situations we are in. So whatever you are being triggered at the point where Ketu will trigger you from Magha, and where the Sun is transiting to Rahu, and where Saturn is. So this is the whole story now that will be panning out for each of us in different way. But definitely one thing is assured, in this next few months, starting from April to December, certain areas of your life will go for a big change. No doubt. And that is why where you initiate the change, knowingly, if you are initiating for knowledge and a greater cause, and for solving a greater problem, not just starting a problem, to get out of some kind of a boredom. That is the thing that we must understand. It's quite complicated, no doubt. And this phenomena that starts here, the war, if you call in the mundane astrology level, the everyday life that we are seeing, we are not getting respite from here. This is very important to understand. Astrology is not for the faint-hearted. When we see these kind of conditions, they will escalate, and Jupiter is, as you know, Atichari till 2032, and then 2032 Jupiter reaches Sagittarius and then Capricorn. It will become stable over there, and by 2033, till then Rahu will also reach Swati, own nakshatra. Ketu will reach Ashwini, own nakshatra. So that is the time you will see some betterment or a order reset that is going on, the west going down and the east coming up. Now whether you realize it or not, this is going to happen. De-dollarization is the process. The petrodollar is the thing, the reserve currency dollar losing its charm, and now USA, the United States of America, will be forced to take on Venezuela, Iran, Taiwan, all these these places and they want to prove their supremacy again, because they know they are under $1 trillion of debts, and this is the only way that they can sustain their so-called legacy of just 50 years. It's not even a legacy anyway. So this is what we are looking towards, and that is why we have to understand that keep rooted to mantra chanting. What is a remedy? Remedy is keeping us rooted to our culture, our mantra chanting, our spiritual upliftments. Very important. Maga and Ketu, if again and again I'm telling, the thing that you are doing in the 3D level with Maga, if you understand the spiritual cause of it, it is worth fighting it. Otherwise, it's doomsday paradise. That is what is happening with President Trump, and this war will escalate, and this war is not an easy war that he's fighting. And I don't know, they never won a war in the last 50 years. Why did they feel that they'll win this one? Anyway, that is how the thing is going, and it'll pan into more difficult issues. But what we have to look into, that how we mitigate this year. Let's take 1 year at a time, because every year is complicated. Again, next year we'll see other complications. Saturn is already Neecha Bhilashi. It'll go into Aries, so it'll reach its debilitation point and again come back. So Saturn will be, changing signs next year. So again, next year we'll have certain more issues. So let us, and another thing, yes, last but not the least, about before going into the ascendants, what I want to say is that one has to realize Rahu Ketu in a very different way. How it is? Because Rahu and Ketu goes from the highest degree to the lowest degree of a sign, it is a little difficult, you will see, to predict what it is going to bring at your end. Because the other planets, they enter a sign and they take the essence of that sign and give you results in that way. Rahu Ketu, I'll give you an example. Now, whatever you will be doing in the coming months from April to the end of the year, Rahu will then move into Capricorn. Suppose if I talk for the Aries ascendant, they will have a lot of the churning up area, the desire that they are having in the 11th house with Rahu in Shatabisha will later culminate into lot of work related issues when Rahu comes into Capricorn. So that kind of a thing Rahu and Ketu does. It first generates the process and then it makes you hustle hard. Suppose if I talk about Ketu. Ketu is in Maga, suppose in the 10th house for Scorpio ascendant. First, it will give you all kind of ups and downs regarding your career. Now then when it goes into Cancer, at the end of this year, you will be learning that whatever instability I faced with Ketu being in the 10th house, I have to upgrade myself for the coming days. So, first the energy is felt. Later you realize that because of this, I have to do this. So it's a very different way of understanding than the normal planets. That is why the prediction, as far as I am concerned, I am not telling everybody. There are great people doing great things in Jyotish, but I feel the predictions with Rahu Ketu are sometimes very like a pendulum, haywire. Because as I am talking, if you take Rahu in Shatabisha, maybe nothing you have to do at this point of time regarding Shatabisha. Maybe there is no networking, you're looking for it. Maybe there is no healing, you're looking for it. All these things. So, but still that axis is very prominent, very, very prominent. Wherever it goes, it will bring the events. And because of the solar and the lunar eclipses, which this year we have total solar and lunar eclipse back to back after 15 days, it will bring definitely those results from those areas. And understand one thing, being my those who are watching me, see, some people keep on telling I can speak in Hindi. Yes, I can do my comfort level, because it's not about, I am a very proud Indian. I speak Hindi. Those who have interacted with me, they know I do. But yes, I have issues with the language. I'm not very good at it. I humbly accept it totally. So the flow, when I'm talking in a flow, if it is Hindi, it is little bit difficult for me to go with the exactly expressing myself. But whenever you talk to me in person, I definitely, those who come from the especially from the Hindi speaking zone, I talk with them. Those who come from East India, because I'm a Bengali, I speak in fluent Bengali language. So just for the purpose of the video that I'm making, it's easier for me to express myself in this language, which is, yeah, we are colonized in that way. I am trying to take myself out from the colonized zone. I have fed myself 80%, 20% maybe, still it is left to be done. That's okay. We improve with time. I don't think anybody is perfect, so I take the imperfection with lot of dignity. So that is the thing I wanted to speak. So COVID like situations, yes, it can. Many people, some people were asking me why the Prime Minister had said certain language. Suppose, see, we have a problem with petrol and diesel, then definitely that kind of situation can happen, that we have to work from home. And that kind of a situation, that maybe 4 days you stay from home, 3 days you come to office, a regime change, a kind of survival mode testing. As I told you before only, whenever Rahu Ketu comes into its own nakshatras, they trigger that kind of events. Now, will every time when they come those kind of events happen? No, because Saturn, at maybe in other times when Rahu comes to Ardra or in Shatabisha, Saturn will not be Neecha Bhilashi. Saturn will not be transiting in later next year into Aries, because the condition of Saturn is not good. Jupiter will not be Atichari. Again, the two main planets that we look into every time when we do a prediction is not performing very well, right? Because that is the times we are in. And that is why these karmic control nodes are throwing in situations, as I told you, from 2019, Rahu in Ardra to Ketu in Mula, to now, that time also Saturn was in Capricorn. And whenever now Rahu will go into Capricorn. Capricorn is our knees. When we stand, we take the support of the knees. And when special planets come into Capricorn, how you stand, how strong you stand is tested. That is the whole story. So I hope I have been able to put across what I'm trying to say. 2-3 things. First thing is that how we deal with this axis of Ketu in Maga, Rahu in Shatabisha. This is very intense time. Let us talk about this year first till the end of the year, December. Rahu and Ketu will change signs in December to Capricorn and Cancer. Later, Saturn is Neecha Bhilashi and Jupiter is Atichari. Though it will go into this exaltation, but still Jupiter is moving 3 times faster than its usual speed. So disruptions are bound to happen. Third is that, yes, any kind of emergency situation can definitely happen. Especially now, Rahu Ketu is like having a Kal Sarpa, and all the planets are starting from Shatabisha to Maga. This zone, all the planets are there. What happens is that till now Rahu was having a lot of conjunction of planets. Later, that is a separate video I'll make. Ketu will have a conjunction with Venus, Sun, Mercury in July, August, and later, last part of the year, November, with Mars, which is Ghatak, not good. So these kind of situations, if this, whatever the talks, that 5 days of calming down or whatever, can lead to a greater trouble, can lead to further escalation, or it may stop for 2 months and then it start again. But this is not ending. Maga is not a planet which will let you end the war so far. It cannot happen. And then from Ketu will pass the Gandanta to Aslesha in the month of December, which is very volatile. And that is understood. It's very, very volatile. And you know, Rahu will go into Capricorn from Dhanishta to Shravan Nakshatra. Shravan and Uttarashada are very highly ambitious. Dhanishta is also. But Shravan is like 1 time I do not get a thing, 3 times I will try and I'll get it. And it's a very, very highly ambitious nakshatra. And same for Uttarashada. There's a final war, you know. Purva Ashada is the starting, Uttara Ashada is the ending danka of the war. So we are in a war zone, literally. That is why I see, friends, this kind of situation is unique. But we have to go through it. There is no other way. And that is why till 2032, as I said, unless Rahu comes into Swati, Ketu comes into Ashwini, the Libra Aries axis, and then Jupiter becomes stable by 2033 into Capricorn, and then Aquarius, it finally gives stability. Then and Saturn comes into Gemini. Things will not be easy. That one has to understand and prepare for a vision ahead and a bigger picture, not how we live today. Yes, sometimes it is difficult, but when we are in troubled times, how do we mitigate through it? That is important to understand. Every minute there is a war, the Sensex Nifty is panicking. It is giving knee-jerk reaction. Suddenly it goes down, it crashes, it goes down suddenly in 2-3 days. Again it comes up. So you can imagine the volatility. Crude $100 per barrel, it can shoot up if the Strait of Hormuz situation is not solved. It can go to 150. The crashing of the economy of the world, India is still far off better. Having a very able administration, working 24 hours for us if we don't realize that. Great people. We are living with really legends, I'll call them, and great visionary people. Nobody can say no about it. If you are born in the 70s, 80s, you know what we have faced, what kind of spineless government we have faced. I have faced it, I know. Whether people disagree with me, I don't care. This is great times that we are living. We have able people serving us so well. We should stand by that. We should show that maturity. We as Indians, the Sanatan Dharma, the Hindu Dharma. Dubai was a safe haven. What happened? They don't even have a military of their own, dependent on USA. So, see, that's why it takes time to build things. It's not easy. Let's see how we can pass this thing calmly in a better way. And let's see, like each of the ascendants, I think I can put it in a different video also. Please check both the videos, or I'll see what to do with it, or a link with the same. And this axis of Ketu starting from Maga Nakshatra this April is in your 5th house. So obviously the 5th house is very much active, and if you have planets in Leo or Maga Nakshatra, obviously it is very, very more important as Ketu passes through natal planets. Now here 5th house is all about your name, fame, progeny, love affairs, all these things which are not in a very, in a very calm state, I can say like that. And you have to look into the journey of the sun, because Ketu is in the house of sun. The sun is in your 12th house. As I speak now, it will come on the Lagna. You can feel much charged up, and you take some initiation from your 5th house matters. If your Dasha is also like that. Now these matters that you take up regarding your 5th house, or that you are fighting already maybe, that will be extrapolated to the 11th house. Some kind of decision or some kind of steps will take you towards the 11th house. Suppose I'll give an example. If when Ketu transits to the 5th house, many people I have seen their relationship, their love affairs, they break. And once they break, they know how to heal. They have to reach towards the 11th house matters. A simple example I'm giving. Fifth house is also investments. So I feel during the next later half of the year, whole year is volatile. Only you can go for long-term investment. That also can see very sharp decline and sharp rise also, both ways. That is how haywire Ketu acts in Maga. Why it is acting, it will now make you understand that what is the way you have to take, so that you go to the 11th house matters where Rahu is there. You discuss with the experts, you get knowledge, because Shatabisha is also is the presiding deity is Varuna. You get the knowledge of certain things, which is very important. And from where? From the greater community. So this is how, see, this video is just to make you understand how this is not like a particular prediction I cannot give, but the matter will start from the 5th house. And the dasha you are running, if it is pointing towards the 5th house, whether it is not also, it will happen, I'm telling you for sure. Some matter related to the 5th house, however small or big or whatever it is, for Aries ascendant will start, and you have to get the solution and work towards it from the 11th house only. And that is why Rahu is there in the 11th house, and it will go through, make you dream big, leaving certain things of the 5th house which is not going according to your plan. You have to get detached from that. After the war, whatever war you're fighting in the 5th house zone, whether it is your progeny, whether it's your investment, whether it's just a promotion that you want, whatever, then you go to the higher group to finding a better solution for that, where Rahu is waiting and making you desire more. Because the agenda of Rahu in your case now is that from the 11th house it will move to the 10th house. First you desire. Rahu always works, Rahu Ketu, they move from the higher to a lower degree. They work very different than the other planets. First it will make you have that desire, then it will go to the 10th house into Capricorn and make you work for that. And Rahu is Shanivat Rahu, as we know, it doesn't give results very easily or quick fast forward also, it takes time. So that is how it pans out for you for the next few months from April to December. The 5th and the 11th axis will have the triggers. The triggers will 101% come from here only. And you have to reach out to the greater circle. Whatever dasha it is, obviously, now whether you are quitting a job, you are gaining something, you are losing something, all this depends upon the dasha you are going through. Yeah. Taurus ascendant. Taurus, this is the 10th house and the 4th house. Now Ketu is in 4th house in Maga. Now here this can be a role reversal for many people. How? That wherever you are staying you can move out, and it can create a lot of struggles over there at this point of time, Ketu being in the 4th house. There can be problem with homeland, native land, even problem in abroad, even problem with mother and property. There is a war zone over there in the 4th house. Okay, your energy goes into solving the 4th house matters, looking towards Rahu in the 10th house. That is the situation this axis will make you, and especially when it is Kendra Rahu Ketu, whether it is a 4-10 axis or the 1-7th axis, is a prominent thing. A very, very prominent transit is happening for Taurus ascendant at this point of time. So Magha can bring up any kind of war zone in your 4th house matters. It can be just a legal battle about your properties. It can be where you want to take a property and whether you go for a loan or not. Whether you suddenly get some sell-off from the property that you're looking. There can be sudden issues with the parents' health, mother's health. There can be sudden issues that you have to leave a place and move out. And all this is happening because Rahu is taking you towards the 10th house matters, where it wants you to, because the desires, wherever Rahu is, the desires are flaring up. Because here you are facing challenges with Rahu being in the 10th house, and because then Rahu will move into the 9th house, will make you, learn something at a higher level. That is also there. That is waiting to happen. That is why Rahu Ketu, whenever they move, they always move from the higher degree to the lower degree. By the time, first, in the case of Rahu, I have seen again and again, first they built up the thing in the 10th house, and now you know what needs to be done about the 10th house matters. Then Rahu goes into the 9th house, and you have to learn, or you have to unlearn yourself certain things. So this axis will treat you in this way only, but it's a very, very major change whenever Rahu Ketu comes into the 4th and 10th axis. That I have very much seen. And obviously you have to take the decisions where Saturn is, because the karmic control planet of Rahu is Saturn, where it is situated now in your 11th house. So according to your job matters, your professional matters, your networking circles can go for different kind of changes as decided by Rahu and Saturn, as they are juxtaposed one house here and there with each other. These are not normal times. They are struggling times. Now you will tell me when it was not. Yes, we are living in that kind of an era. 2020 to 2040, be prepared for struggles only. Good times, if it comes, very good. Take it by the God's grace. Pray to God every day, and think whatever you have got is really a great, a great blessing from the Almighty. I do that every day. So we are in trouble times. At least till 2032, there is no year that will spare us. Some kind of disruptions will keep on happening. Later, from 33 to 36, it is better. Jupiter going stable. Again, later there's certain more things coming up. Anyway, take care, Taurus people. Gemini ascendants. For Gemini, it is the 3rd house and the 9th house. Now, 3rd house Maga is very turbulent, in the sense you would like to take decisions, because you want to see Rahu in the 9th house wants you to learn something new. And why? Because it's karmic control planet. Saturn is sitting in the 10th house. So the 10th house is the main focus, and that is why decisions regarding your communication, your maybe going to a different city, maybe changing place, any kind of decision in the 3rd house. 3rd house Ketu is very quick. That is why you have to be quite sure before you take the decision. Do not just hurry. Suppose at this point of time Ketu suddenly takes a decision because your conscious mind is telling you go for it, but Saturn is with Sun in the 10th house. Both the karmic control planets. See, Ketu is in Leo's house, Sun is there in the 10th house in Pisces, and Rahu is in Saturn's house. Both are there together. So these kind of situations will come again and again, will be triggered, especially with again an eclipse in the month of August. So the 3rd and the 9th house will go for a churning. 3rd house are decisions, moving to different things, communicating in a harsh way or a sober way, but it's a war zone over there. And the decisions can be very uncanny at this point of time. People surrounding you can think that you're going for a wrong decision, and it can be also. So be very careful, because Rahu over here is making you now Rahu is giving you the knowledge what you have to change in the 10th house matters, because the Rahu is sitting in the sign of Saturn, which is transiting in the 10th house. So you are very ambitious to make the changes. So understand that Mercury is getting debilitated next month. Whatever decisions you take regarding, it will be 10th house matters mostly, or maybe city change or some kind of other decisions. It has to be foolproof. It may not be, but it should be taken in a very sober way, in a very dignified way, in getting knowledge and not just the spur of the moment. So take care, Gemini people. Cancer ascendants, Ketu is in Maga in the 2nd house. 2nd house has become a war of your savings, your accumulation, how to increase it. Now that is where Ketu is constantly troubling you, and this trouble will continue till December. It will. Now what will you do about it? Should every day you brood about it? No. You have to understand that how to make the things happen. It is a difficult time. I have seen that again and again. And then only once you go through this difficult time, only a solution will come. As Ketu will move on the Lagna, with Jupiter being on the Lagna in the month of January. Jupiter will come. So you can get the grace of Jupiter. Hold your horses a bit. Don't rush. Don't rush at all, because Rahu will give you unnecessary fears in the 8th house and will make you do things. Yes, some research and development can be done. Rahu is in Shatabisha Nakshatra. Shatabisha is governed by Varuna, which is the depths of knowledge. So you can get an 8th house is about research. So whatever field you are in, wherever the money is pouring from, how much, what is the thing, you have to do the research. Yeah, there can be people helping you. But 8th house is solitary research. And not just going by one rule. You have to understand, you have to read, you have to widen your horizon. Now this is the war zone for you. What can you do? You have to be in this zone, right? This is the trigger point. So Ketu is in Sun's house in Maga, and whenever the Sun is transiting whichever house, it will trigger the point from there. Saturn, the karmic control planet of Rahu, is sitting in the 9th house. It will push you more to elevate your status. See, Saturn in the transit, when it is transit in the 5th and the 9th house, why it is not easy? Now, anywhere Saturn transit is not easy, but because this is a karmic control planet where Rahu is sitting, not only in Aquarius, later also Rahu will go into Capricorn, Saturn sign, by the end of the year. So, Saturn in the 9th house will always put you under pressure, so that you realize what needs to be done. Saturn's way is like that. First the pressure is built up, and then you start accumulating the knowledge slowly, because Saturn is a slow planet. So this axis is very difficult, no doubt about that. There will be issues with money, there will be issues with spending. You have to understand where you have to curb them. We are not in good times. Till 2030, there will be, we are looking towards a war. And by mundane astrology, we know that 2032 till 2032, Jupiter is not in good condition. So all the things are pointing towards savings, money. As far as your case is concerned, Cancer, emotionally, I deal with many Cancer people. They are too emotionally involved. That is, I understand the sign is like that. That is there. But at this times, when Rahu, Ketu is in dangerously, in their own house, they are super strong. Saturn is Neech Abhilashi. Jupiter is Atichari, though it will come on the Lagna and it's jumping in 5 months here and there. You cannot be emotionally driven. Do some sadhana, very important. Understand that money is just not flowing in the air. It has to be reserved, conserved. That is very important. That is the thing. And that is why a safe haven like Dubai is also not safe now. So how much money you have, follow a simple life rather than going gaga over it. That is why Ketu will trouble you with lot of expenses over here, so that you get fed up and then you come to a concrete situation about what to do about the 2nd house matters, because 2nd house is accumulation, your savings, which is very important at this point of time. It's a learning lesson for you, Cancer. It's a learning lesson. Rahu will create fear in the 8th house. You have to go for research. That fear will not end if you do not go for research about monetary things and how you can expand it or what you can do to conserve it. So that is the main lesson over here. For Leo ascendants, it is the Lagna Ketu in Magha, and Rahu is in Shatabisha in the 7th house. So Leo, there are two things that can be panning out for you. Either you can go a Donald Trump way, which is all bizarre, which is like inviting the danger or the unnecessary events for yourself, or you can become a very sane person and taking the knowledge from Saturn in the 8th house, do some research and understand where life is taking you, what kind of dasha you are going through. You have to be conservative in your approach. It is not the time to go all out. Now, obviously, internally, there will be battles that you are fighting and you cannot avoid them. Because whenever Rahu Ketu comes in the first 7th or the 4th 10th axis, major life overhauls will always take place. So that is how these planets work, but they're trigger points because it is sitting on the Lagna. And if you have planet in Maga, then you will have big trigger points during the next April month to December month. How to deal with them, because Sun, the ruler of Leo, is now in the 8th house. The trigger starts from April month, or now also. It is sitting there in the 8th house with Saturn, Rahu's dispositor, and Ketu's dispositor sitting together in Pisces. Now see, this is a very dangerous situation. That's why Trump is a Leo Lagna. America is a country with Leo Lagna, mundane chart. That is why both are behaving, the country is as good as the leader, right? So it is behaving in a very unnatural way. It was not required. But to showcase the petrodollar strength, they are doing all these things, and that will hit a very bad situation for the economy. Maybe little recovery in the near future, but nothing for a long term, as Saturn will go into debilitation also for Leo people in the 9th house. So be very careful with what decision you are taking, and be very conservative. Again and again I'm telling you, you are in a war zone. You, the Lagna, if you have a moon in Leo also, then definitely you are in a war zone. Your health can suffer. You have to take the lessons from Ketu or the triggers and go to the 7th house. Put your focus in your business, dealing with other people, knowing the unknown, maybe getting some knowledge, or by traveling also you get knowledge or whatever, because Saturn is the Rahu's dispositor. The karmic control planet of Rahu in Shatabisha is in the 8th house. Now if somebody told me that day, ma'am, Shatabisha is a healing nakshatra. Always the nakshatras do not work in that way. Shatabisha is a very unstable nakshatra. Very, very unstable. If you are not stable, the 1st and the 7th axis is in a very unstable zone, with Ketu in Maga telling you to fight a battle. How you will fight a battle? Going all out? You will definitely lose the battle. Definitely. Because Ketu wants you to be first spiritually very enlightened. The battle you are going to wage should not be just the battle for your own good. If it comes for a vision, for a better good, you will win. Otherwise, you will hit the dust. So that is a very challenging position as of now. Ketu in Maga, the war zone. I call it, it's a favorite term I use, and it's always a war. Anybody having Maga prominent, they will know what I'm talking about. You are always in a war zone. Sangharsh is part of your existence. Till the day you are on this planet, you will be doing certain things which will lead you to some kind of fights. I mean, fights can be internalized more rather than outside. So that is very important. Rahu will always draw you towards the 7th house matters. Here relationship can go just haywire with Rahu over there, because don't give it a try also. Here you have to be very calm when Rahu is now in Shatabisha own nakshatra. Ketu and Rahu is trying to break the things that you have in the first, your own self-confidence and your relationship. If you understand this, then you will be very sorted at this point of time, that I will not take any steps because it will lead to nowhere. Rahu and Ketu is that kind of a planet which bring disruptions if you rub it in the wrong way. Otherwise it can give you great wisdom. That is also there, because Saturn is waiting in the 8th house, telling you to go to deeper research thing, and Sun by that time will be transiting from the 8th house to the 1st house till August. So go into research mode, go into learning, see what you can upgrade yourself. Ketu can give a feeling of pride in Maga and the Lagna. So to make that pride, if you have a pride, then work towards it. Work towards self-development. Don't be headless. That is why Ketu is a terrorist and a saint. See, a saint knows everything, and they know that detachment is the only thing that brings us to this world, and whatever we create, we have to leave it here and go. And the terrorists are, for what they're putting the bloodshed? Nothing. A state of terrorism has now come into a beggar state. So that is the existence. Ketu will make you a beggar in either ways. See, that is such a great thing about Jyotish understanding. If you understandingly become a beggar, what happens is that you have a lot of money, but you know internally all these are to stay here only. And if you are fighting for a bloodshed cause, our neighbors does that very well. They have come into the state of beggar. कटोरा लेके घूमो. So वही बात है ना. Anyway, you will become a beggar only with Ketu, wherever Ketu is. Ketu जहाँ पे है, the text say that you behave like a beggar. It is given to you, fine. Don't fight with your fist and claw. It will not help. That is the thing. Only detachment helps. So detach yourself from your ego, and you'll see the growth that happens, that Ketu gives. With this is a magnificent placement, but very unstable. It can go both ways. So take care. Virgo people, the axis is the Ketu in the 12th house and Rahu in the 6th house. So Ketu will keep you sometimes in the slumber mode in the 12th house and the spiritual mode, and sometimes you can feel confused also, definitely. But Rahu wants you to deal with all, rogue and Shatru, and it will bring situations again and again where you have to fight and fight with your brain, because Rahu does not have a body, right? So Ketu is creating a war zone when you are in solitude. That is the case. When you are by yourself, you feel you need to take action, you have to do something about it. Sometimes you can feel very low or very spiritually driven. If you feel like that, it's great. Because after taking that whatever is ignited in the 12th house, whatever is happening in the 12th house matters, will be extrapolated to the 6th house, and you'll behave like that with Rahu over there. You can get into loans, greater groups, understanding how to deal with Rogu and Shatru, because Shatabisha is quite an unstable nakshatra, and Rahu Ketu has all the planets now from Shatabisha to Maga. We have a partial Sarp yoga also. Only the moon is out of the circle. So that is why you have to go through this battle. Once you go through this battle, Rahu will move into the 5th house. That's another churning point, and Ketu in the 11th house. But first and foremost, now this year, this battle regarding your how you rest yourself, how you put yourself in the war zone, and then you take yourself back and put into spiritual zone. So this is a very big tug of war. It's wherever Rahu Ketu is, it's not easy. Many people say it's very easy to Rahu in the 6th house and Ketu in the 12th. No, it is not. Rather, I have seen people having a natal Ketu in the 6th house. They do not have Rog, Rin, Shatru, because they keep care of that. Ketu, wherever it sits, it tells that I have come here to free you from that. And so 6th house Ketu sometimes most of the time relieves us from Rog, Rin and Shatru. Metabolism is very high for that kind of people. And Rahu in the 12th, yes, Rahu neither, I don't find Rahu good in the 12th house, that is for sure. But in the 6th house also, Rahu unnecessarily puts things where you have to, without even wanting to, you have to go on a politically, fights into mind games. With sudden loans, it will give you. You want a loan, you are given. You want enemies, 100% Rahu in the 6th house, you have to deal with enemies. There will be enemies because Rahu enhances the things, right? So that is the thing. This is the zone that you will be experiencing from this April to this December. It is instability because sometimes you feel I have had enough of the 6th house and I go back to the 12th house. But because Ketu is in Maga, internal battles will also be there. So some people will be seeing you battles on the Rogrin Shatru, but then also internally also when Ketu is in Maga in the 12th house, if you have prominent planets over there, some internal confusion and battles will be running for the next months till December, for November end. So this is the karmic axis that you are dealing with, Virgo, at this point of time. Take care. Libra, the Ketu transit is in Magha in the 11th house and the Rahu is transiting in the 5th house in Shatabisha. Now see, when Ketu goes into the 11th house, it is mainly about networking circles and also your incoming gains. And like see, there can be a zone of uncomfortable relations with some of your networking people, or it can be curtailed and shortened, because you will be in that kind of a, because whenever Ketu moves a house, it unnecessarily, the things that are attached to that house, it will leave, it will cut it off. And Maga is a nakshatra where you're fighting. And so over here the fight is what to keep and what to let go. Maybe you're fighting for your extra gains, because Saturn, the Lord is Saturn, the 5th and the 4th Lord is in the 6th house, and 6th house Saturn makes you work more and the gains are not very prominent. Now what happens is that Rahu here in the 5th house gives you different investment ideas, because it is in Shatabisha and it wants to increase your creativity, which is not bad. But Rahu in the 5th gives very instability, for very unstable intelligence, or if you are linked with any person in life or with your progeny, because the karmic control planet Saturn is in the 6th house and in Jala Rashi Pisces. So the intelligence that Rahu wants to navigate through you does not comes very easily, and that is the problem with this axis. I do not find Rahu very comforting in the 5th house. Now you'll say where it is other than Upachya house. Not even, I mean, Rahu best I have found in the 3rd and the 11th house. 6th house and 10th house Rahu is also not very easily understood, and it gives difficulties also. It is there. So 5th house Rahu is that is the thing that is going on with your intelligence, with your love affairs, with your investments, with your progeny, that there is some kind of instability. And Shatabisha, believe me, it's a very unstable nakshatra. Though it gives you a lot of knowledge, you will dig deep about these matters, why things are happening. Because whenever Ketu makes you leave something in the place which is transiting, and it cuts you off, because that is the war, means certain things will be lost, right? And when you've suffered that loss in the 11th house matters, maybe gains, maybe networkings or whatever, you come towards the 5th house matters. But in the 5th house also Rahu gives you a lot of creativity, but the results may not come immediately, and you know that these results will take time to happen. And that is why when Rahu later moves into Capricorn, this idea, and Ketu into the 10th house, lot of things about your your decisions, because whenever Rahu Ketu transits the 5th house, then they come into the 4th house. The Kendra Rahu Ketu is life changing. It gives different changes to different areas of the life. So that is going to happen, but as of now it is a tug of war between the 11th house, the matters that you have to let loose over there, and what you want to inculcate, or what kind of creativity comes to you after that. Because if you have to leave something, you have to again go to create something. That is what Rahu is making you do in the 5th house matters. So yeah, that is for Libra. Scorpio, it's a total war zone with Maga in the 10th house, and I know I have been dealing with a lot of Scorpio. There's a job change, there's a new regime, new kind of work, all these things. And it is, I'll give you it in very short, that Magha Nakshatra will make you fight for the 10th house matters, and it is a literal war zone for your professional upliftment and moving, going through that process. Because with many changes, with many kind of sudden spur of events happening, with Ketu running into Magha now till December, you will, when then Ketu comes into the 9th house, you will know, I have to upgrade myself. And that is very, very important. Now only you may be knowing, but there are certain things which Magha will make you fight for. and the fight is for your professional things, maybe with your father, maybe father's health, maybe his status is also somewhere affected in this transit, because Rahu Ketu, whenever they have the transit in the 1-7 or 4-10 axis, it's very quite a life-changing transit. And for you here, you want to come into the 4th house matters, but there also is instability seen with Rahu being Shatabisha. Shatabisha is not an easy nakshatra for Rahu, and here you may due to your official changes, you are very confused where you are landing ultimately. What is your place that you are going? Maybe you are shifting, you want to shift. What is the change? Maybe your boss is triggering things in you and you have to resort to the family matters. You come back to the home, but there also things are not, Rahu is not very comfortable in the 4th house, and it takes you to different places. You know, the inconsistency is inside out. It is not at all easy thing that you're dealing with. No way. We are not in easy times, and for you it is the 10th house. It can give you position also. Ketu in Maga can give you position, but that position will also trigger something in you. So you understand, this is a very quite a thing that you're going through. Unless Ketu comes into the 9th house, a lot of things you will understand, and you will, because Ketu, 9th house is original Sagittarius house. Ketu does better over here, and Rahu into the 3rd house. Things will come into your grasp. You'll be able to fight it. Now you are in the war zone, but you do not know how to go all out in the war, or you have to take steps. Be very cautious with what you do with your professional matters, as Ketu is in Maga. Even if you get many people can get a promotion also. Ketu gives in Maga, it gives, but that is also leads to further irritation. That is the problem with Ketu in Maga. So here is the axis that is bothering you at this point of time, the 10th house and the 4th house, and maybe things related to your house. You want to take you want to go there, you want to attend to that, but maybe it's not happening. The triggers are coming from the 10th house matters all the time. So that is the thing. Yeah. Then comes Sagittarius. Sagittarius, the placement of Rahu Ketu is good, I find, because Ketu being in Magha, it will put a fire in your belly. I can put it in that way, because you have seen the 10th house Ketu in 2024, how much cutting it can be. Now you know how to upgrade yourself, and there will be certain, obviously it will be trials and tribulations. It is not a single take thing with any planets for that matter, and now we are in mostly troubled times. So Ketu in Magha in the 9th house will make you go through uplifting yourself, and you must take the chances. If it is not solved in one time, suppose you are giving an exam, you are going for a higher learning, you are learning something for the official skills, you are doing something for your father, or whatever it is, you must do again and again to reach the success. That is the war you are fighting. It is not a war in a one go. You have to fight it out. And then whatever the trigger point comes from the 9th house for your upgradation, because 5th and 9th house are houses that push you upwards. 3rd house Rahu in Shatabisha will help you to take those decisions, though it may find a little instability in the beginning, because Shatabisha is not a very easy nakshatra at all. It can first give you some unstable moments that you have to deal with, and slowly Rahu will put you into the efforts, the purusharth, the understanding, and your communication, your change of maybe changing a place, maybe something else. It gives you that thing slowly into your understanding, perspective, execution. But the trigger will always come from the 9th house, which is upgrading yourself. This is what Maga is making you, because Leo is ambition, and 9th house Leo means putting yourself first and upgrading yourself, as Jupiter will make you go through a lot of transformation as it goes into the Lagna Lord 8th house exalted. So these decisions will be taken. This is a coincidence, right? The Ketu is in Magha war zone here, Rahu is in Shatabisha, and Jupiter coming into Cancer in the 8th house. So things will pan out, obviously not in one go. It can take tries again and again. You have to go through that kind of a fighting mode, yeah, but you'll be able to go through it. On ascendants, the Ketu in Maga in the 8th house is a very delicate placement, very, very sensitive. Ketu brings in, even than Rahu's transit in the 8th house, Ketu's transit in the 8th house is very bizarre, and it suddenly brings things which are very demotivating and puts you in a war zone, definitely, as Maga is a warlike nakshatra, and you have to fight out over there. And what do you fight out with? Because that is the trigger point. The fight comes to the 2nd house matters: money, family, your resources, adjusting into a family, understanding the people, your home, your food, whatever you say, how the people in the family behave with you, your money, all these things are trigger points, 101%. Nothing much to say about it. You have to go through these trigger points till the end of November, beginning of December. Here, Ketu will always, as eclipses or the transit of the sun is in that kind of situation, it will bring triggers to you, and you will take up that trigger. And it can be in-laws matters also, it can be your hidden wealth, it can be sudden events in your life which is not even, a sudden transformation, a sudden change. You have to take up the idea, you have to fight it out, and you have to fight because Rahu is sitting over there in the sign of your Lagna Lord, and your Lagna Lord is in the 3rd house. You have to take a venture and move and show your Purusharth. Your decision making is very important, and you cannot stay put at this point of time. That is the battle. The battle is about fighting something which is not very clear. The distant vision is not very clear, but you have to fight it out so that the 2nd house Rahu gets satisfied, as it is sitting in the sign of your Lagna Lord Saturn, and Saturn is in the 3rd house. So definitely there's big changes. Changes can be moving out of your place, changes can be about money, the changes can be about job, the changes can be about a family environment, property related things, anything it can be, legacies, issues, anything, Capricorn. Very challenging transit, no doubt about it. I hope you mitigate through the ways. Take care of your health. Ketu in the 8th house is another one thing, is that it suddenly triggers the health also, because Jupiter is there in the 6th house, the 3rd and the 12th lord, to rectify things over there. It also needs your efforts, definitely. So it is no way an easy time that you're going. But then when Rahu comes on the Lagna after this transit, there's a big change that your life is looking towards. Rahu on the Lagna, you will feel sudden confusion, sudden anger when Rahu comes into Capricorn, sudden exaggeration, sudden heights of feeling good. All the things will be clubbed together with Rahu when it moves into Capricorn in December. So the transits are like that. Whatever is your dasha, the triggers will happen from Ketu, and the things will find solution in Rahu. Maybe you are triggered for any kind of loss regarding the 8th house, maybe a property, legacy, anything. You have to earn more. That is the 2nd house Rahu. Simple. These are the equations, just I'm telling you. So take care, Capricorn people. It's quite a triggersome phenomena or transit that you are going through. And I know Capricorns are people with lots of resilience and tenacity at its best. So keep up the patience that you have. Okay, Aquarius, the transit of Rahu is on the Lagna. Now this is changing you a lot, right? The way you are thinking about things, the way you are moving into groups, the way you are understanding the people. Trigger can come from the partnership point. Definitely many Aquarius people are having problem with partnership issues. So that if you want to just keep a status quo, if you want to go with the relationship. If you don't want to break it, then you have to be very careful about the sustenance of your partner, whether business or life partner. But if you want to let it go, then definitely Magha can make you fight a battle, which is a legal battle also. It can be internal, external, whatever, because you want now your stability. Rahu is creating that thing in you that you, because Rahu is flaring up the subject, right? It is on the Lagna. It is making you feel that now I deserve this. I do not want this relationship. And now that is one way. Another way is that if you want the relationship, but still it is in the troubled zone with Ketu definitely being Magha and battles are being waged in the 7th house, it can be very difficult for you to mitigate the ways through. Unnecessary turbulences in the 7th house matter that leads up to the Lagna. Because Ketu is the trigger point and it extrapolates to Rahu. So this is a life-changing transit, no doubt about it. So you have to, it's like a puzzle, and Rahu does not give immediate results also. You have to keep on moving and then suddenly the result is given to you. It's not easy, but at this point of time, because Ketu is in Magha, many people will see the end of some relationships in their life. Maybe it is unwanted, that is also there. You will see some people dying down, whether it's partnership, whether it's it can be immediately your own partner. It can be. Situations are not easy for Aquarius, because the axis is constantly facing turmoil with lunar and solar eclipses. Again in the month of August it will happen. So yes, now you will tell me when is the good time. It is a good time for self-development. If somebody is not too much attached, now comes the point. If you're fighting such a battle that you know it's long lost and that relationship is of no use, then let it go. The battle is won from Magha, and now come you are the focus, because Rahu is the focus. Ketu is just the trigger point. It is your past life things that Ketu brings in, and you have to fight it out and reach towards Rahu. Then really you can shine so well during the next few months, as Rahu will have a great transit in Shatabisha and then Dhanishta. So be prepared for shining bright if you have the right tools and you fight the right war. Take care, Aquarius. So Pisces, the 6th house Ketu, this is a good placement, you know. Ketu fighting the war about 6th house matters. 6th house matters needs a fight, but fight should not make you more, getting again round and round the bush. Rahu does that in the 6th house. Ketu in the 6th house, I feel it takes up a subject and it cuts it. It keeps on cutting. That is why I like Ketu in the 6th house. And especially when the eclipse happens, this Rogue, Rin, Shatru, whatever you have, it is neutralized. And that is what you will be fighting towards. If you have any kind of disease, you will fighting towards it. If you have a loan, you will try to wage it off. If you have an enemy, you have to fight with it, because after all, Rahu in the 12th house is putting lot of ideas on your head, and Rahu is sitting in Saturn's house, which is on the Lagna. It can be sometimes very overwhelming also, the months that are coming up from April to December, because Saturn on the Lagna is not easy. Rahu, Ketu in the 6th, I don't worry about Ketu in the 6th. Ketu knows how to do these fights, and it cuts you off from the things and relieves you from those things. Rahu can make you go nuts sometimes with the 12th Rahu. I do not like a 12th house Rahu. It gives a lot of turmoils, because Rahu in Pisces genre, which is the original 12th house of Kalpurush Kundli, is quite a delusional planet over there, because Rahu itself is like a lot of things is put into your head, and even in your dreams, even in your subconscious brain, you're dreaming about them and you want to get them, because why, you see, Rahu is now in the 12th, then it will go into 11th house. It wants the desire to be flared up, so that in the 11th house, when it reaches in Capricorn, those will be addressed. But at this point of time, take up your little battles, whatever you have. Ketu will help you with triggers to fight those, and so that you will get resolved from some matters of the 6th house. Yes, that will definitely happen. Do not pay too much heed to the inner voice of Rahu that is constantly there with, Shatabisha is a very deep research oriented nakshatra, but it is very unstable nakshatra also. It will always put your mode, especially the subconscious can be always in a very active state. It's not calm, Rahu being in the 12th house. So take care of your health and fight these battles. You will come out as a winner in these battles, because Ketu helps doing that in Maga in the 6th house. This kind of a transit is not bad unless it brings the triggers. Definitely you have to fight it out. So yeah, that is for you Pisces ascendant. So this was my video on the Rahu Ketu axis when Ketu is traveling into transiting in own nakshatra and Rahu in own nakshatra. Later things later, we'll see what comes in the month of April. Until then, take good care. Bye bye. See you in the next video.